We have no choice. You've seen what's become of the 33rd.
Captain's right. The damned are out of control. Someone's got to stop them.
I know. But can we trust him?
Gould risked his life to save ours. He's earned my trust.
Hello and welcome to our review of Spec Ops: The Line for the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3. Spec Ops: The Line was actually a very impressive game to me once I started playing it, and that's mainly because of how deep, how dark, and how well written the storyline is in the single-player campaign. Now, very few military war shooters actually have a storyline that's worth telling. Most of them are just your bang-bang, shoot-em-up, save-the-day affair like Call of Duty and the Battlefields and all the other countless military games we see released. Frankly, the amount of detail put into this game's storyline was staggering. It might start off slow and maybe even a bit generic, but once the storyline gets kicked off, you really notice a lot of detail and a lot of depth, and you'll definitely see some things that you won't see in any other military game I've seen to date. Now, the story follows a Delta team sent in to recon Dubai after a sandstorm decimated the place. Now, you're sent in with the task of reconning and rescuing survivors, but it turns into an all-out battle when you encounter a civil war, a renegade colonel, and a Delta team that's gone rogue committing horrible war crimes. This is something rarely touched upon in most war games. Certainly in most war games you will see the civilians being killed or maybe a few slaughters here and there, but they rarely go to the depth and detail that Spec Ops: The Line did, and they rarely push the envelope this far. You will see some truly horrific things that are very realistic and definitely a big element in what combat in war is in our day and age. So that alone is worth playing this game because it simply gives you not only a great action experience, but it gives you a truly great story. There are also moral choices you can make in the game that might alter some of the things you'll be doing in later stages. These aren't a big thing that will really alter the game too much, but they're definitely there enough to add some replay value. And not only that, but you'll see some of your moral choices you made reminisce upon by the end of the game, and there are 4 different alternate endings, so there's definitely replay for this game. Now, it does only last about 4 hours, but those 4 hours are packed with tons of fun and a great storyline. I can't stress that enough. Nolan North and Bruce Boxleiter voice act in this game, and all of the acting in the game was very well done, very top-notch. Now, I did have some problems with the enemy AI in the game, because frankly, it's a bit stupid at times. It might run into walls or do some things that maybe take you out of the experience for a second, but it is rare and it's not extremely often. Again, when it happens, it's noticeable, but it didn't detract from the overall experience. Now, you do have a squad with you, and their AI is generally good. They will follow their own commands, they'll take out enemies on their own. You don't really have the ability to order them around and do too much with them, but you can order them to take out a single enemy or maybe throw a flashbang. Sometimes their AI will screw up just like the enemies does, but again, this is a rare occurrence and it doesn't happen too much, and it definitely doesn't detract from the game. It's something that certainly could have been fixed to make the game better, but as I said, it wasn't a big deal to me. Now, this is your standard cover-based action shooter. The cover system works very well, and there are melee attacks in the game and executions you can perform that I really liked. They were very satisfying and very brutal and visceral, so I really enjoyed that part of the game. Now, the gunplay of the game, which is the meat of this gameplay, is very, very well done. It's very visceral and very exciting to play. The guns all feel very well balanced, they look great, and they sound great, and this leads to some exciting shootouts in the game. Frankly, the firefights in the game look like they came straight out of the big military epic that you'll see on the screen. So overall, the combat is fun and fast-paced and very well done and very refined. And the game also has some great epic set pieces taking place during a sandstorm that are very well staged and extremely intense. The locales you will visit and the staging of the action in the game is very well done. The multiplayer the game offers is also a lot of fun to play. I like the smaller team sizes and the fact that the sandstorms from the single-player campaign play a big part in the multiplayer. They can come in during the middle of a match and really change things up, and it makes the multiplayer feel different than some of the other games on the market. You'll certainly be able to level up your character and unlock new weapons, and there are a ton of weapons to unlock and a few perks along the way. It does suffer from a bit of lag and some glitches, but all in all, it's a lot of fun. I am concerned, though, if this community will really grow and last. But I'll definitely be playing it as long as you guys are. Really, this was a great game, though it's not without its flaws. Frankly, they put in tons of detail into the storyline, which really impressed me. I would have liked to have seen that amount of detail put into the visuals of the game, because this game just looks a bit outdated. which was a bit disappointing to me because I was really enjoying the storyline, and I was enjoying the action, and I was enjoying the overall gameplay, but the presentation just lacked what the rest of the game had. And also, some of the action scenes in the game taking place after some of the larger scale set pieces can feel a bit dull and stale. Now, this isn't because the game plays bad, it's just because it seemed like they were inserting another action sequence just to make the game a bit longer. And if they took the time to maybe refine some of these sections, make them just as good as the rest of the game, and then also refine the presentation, this would have been a masterpiece. It's still a really great game, though. Still, though, the amount of detail put into this game is impressive, and it's definitely a really fun game. If only they had refined some of the elements of the game, this could have been one of the best military shooters on the market, but it's still definitely worth your time and money. Thank you for watching my review of Spec Ops: The Line. I hope you found it helpful and informative. Please rate, comment, and subscribe, and always stay tuned for my next review.
Christ. These soldiers were massacred.
Nah. Look how they're lined up. This was an execution.
Just like the Kabul death squads.
Shit.
Yeah. Shit.